Hey guys, generally I've been doing live streams for old games on Wednesdays, but I'm going to hang out with the missus tonight. So what I've got here is Gazza's video about a Springboks World Cup team based on players from like up to 25 years ago. I've got a few questions for him, to be honest, as to some of the picks, and so might you guys have. So if you do have questions for him, do drop them in the comments. We can always do a follow-up video like we did last time with the Wallabies one. He's a little bit concerned about his pronunciation, and I've had a look at the video. His pronunciation of South African names is not the best, but he doesn't mean any disrespect by it. It's just most Kiwis are not that good with South African names, I would guess. But yeah, that's just a thing. So yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. He put a bit of effort into it. As I said, I got a couple of questions about some of the selections, but some of the guys are guys that maybe I know as a coach or a wee bit before my time, maybe from my childhood when I probably didn't remember seeing them that much kind of play compared to All Blacks guys who were a bit more familiar. The South African guys I only got to see every now and again. But yeah, do let me know your guys' thoughts. Put any questions for him down in the comments, and I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.
G'day guys, how are you? I promised you a South African World Cup squad over the last 25 years. Very, very difficult squad to pick. But here goes. Might be a bit controversial. I hope you're not going to be too hard on me. Okay. At hookers, I've got James Dalton, John Smith, and Bismarck du Plessis. Pick 3 hookers. Props, I had Barley Swart, Osterrand, Jane du Plessis, Tendai, Matarana, Stephen Kitchoff. Locks, I picked Mark Andrews, Victor Madfield, Barkis Botha, Eston Esterbeth. Loose forwards, Franciscus Pina, Schrockberger, Peter Dutoit, Dwayne Vermeulen, Sila Khaleesi, captain. Halfbacks, Jos van der Westhuizen, Thad de Klerk, Fury du Plessis. First fives, Henry Pollard, Joel Stransky, Mornay Stain. Got some kickers in there. Centres, Damien Alande, Brendan Ventur, Jane de Villiers. Wings, Brian Abana, JP Peterson, Brayton Pulsar. Fullbacks, Percy Montgomery, Willie LaRue. Very hard squad to pick, guys. Sorry if I got the names a bit wrong. Anyway, I've got injury cover here as well, so that should make the picture a bit more clearer where we're at. Hookers, Malcolm Marx, Chris Rousseau, Short Brits. Props, Ollie LaRue, Adrian Garvey, Kurtho Steenkamp, Lawrence Sapeka, Trevor Nakani, Locks, Lord Diaga, Alpa Vanderberg, Danny Rousseau, and Selborne Boom. Loose forwards, Pierce Spies, Francis Lowe, Jovan Niekirk, Bobby Skinstead, Hendrik Brasso, and Yuan Smith. Halfbacks, Ricky January, Ruan Pina, Neil de Kock. First fives, Derek Hoggard, Butch James, Henry Hannibal. Centres, Bernard Oliver, Jacques Faroux, Francis Stain, Jesse Creel. A couple of utilities in there that can play fullback and wing as well. Wings, and Adrian Jacobs, who's also a utility. Wings, Cheslin Kobe. I know that's going to be a controversial one because I left him out, but I've got him on injury cover. James Small, Chester Williams, and another fullback I put in, Patrick Lambie. Now, the coaches, managers, and assistant coaches. Jake White, Rudolph Stroley, Jacques Naba, Rassi Rasmus, of course, Nick Mallet, Kitch Christie, Mornay du Plessis, Gissy Pina, and those guys I thought would Rudolph Straley. Those guys I thought would be the managers, the coaches, and the selectors of the team. So they wouldn't all be going on this World Cup, journey. They would be, some of them would be in South Africa, and some of them would be obviously going with the team. Now, like I said, this was a really, really difficult team to pick. I did a lot of research. Quite controversial. I would have liked to pick two teams, but you can only pick one. I hope you guys are not going to be too hard on me with the team that I picked. I'm sure that some of the guys on injury cover would get game time with the number of injuries that can happen in a World Cup, like when South Africa played Italy and they lost two props, or you could lose two halfbacks or two locks or whatever. This team is, look, I just love South African rugby. Raw bone, resilient, hard, tough. They are really good players. They play to the letter of the law. They give everything they've got. And like a couple of ex-All Black captains, Kieran Reid and Richie McCaw, our two of our famous loose forwards, said every game after you've been playing with South Africa, you know you've been in a test match because you're sore for 2 weeks afterwards. So I hope this team is will satisfy you guys. It probably won't satisfy a lot of people because I had to leave a lot of good players out. But, it was over 25 years, and like I said, I did a lot of research for, this team. It was probably a lot harder for me to pick this team than the Wallaby squad I picked. For the simple reason, there's a lot of guys that aren't even on this paper as injury cover or in the squad that I wanted to pick, but I couldn't pick because I could only pick like 31 for the World Cup squad. And, I've gone a bit overboard on the injury cover because you never know how many more injuries you can get in a tournament with like 5 games. You could lose 5 players. You could even lose 10, with the physicality of what these guys come up against. And even though I might have overdone the injury cover, it's like an insurance policy. It's better to have too many than not enough. I know for a fact when the Lions came here with the 2017 tour, then they had 45 players and they sent out 5 or 6 replacements, if I remember rightly. I know from the publicity and the news that we had, they had a swag of guys back home that they also had on standby as injury cover. So when any squad is picked by the All Blacks, South Africa, England, Ireland, Australia, Scotland, any of the great rugby nations, even France, I know for a fact that they have an exorbitant amount of injury cover available to them in case they get a catastrophe of injuries. And the reason I say that is because I've known from past experience that when the All Blacks name their squad to tour somewhere, whether it be a World Cup or a big tour or whatever the case may be, they might name like, say, 30 players or 35 players for a tour, and then they might say they have 10 players on standby, but I know for a fact that they have at least another 10 or 20 that are available to them. So that's my insurance policy for doing that. I'd like to thank Mark for letting me do this video with you guys. So I hope you like my team. I couldn't fit everybody in. I wanted to. I know it's going to be quite controversial, and I found it really difficult to leave a lot of guys out. I mean, you could probably pick 2 World Cup teams here, as you well know. So and there's a lot of guys that I wanted to pick that aren't even on this paper from the last 25 years. Because, like I say, I love South African rugby. And when my father Keith was alive, in the when he in the 50s when I used to listen to the South African games with him. He just loves South African rugby too. And I'm glad Mark's going to take it over from me. You know, he loves South African rugby as well, because we know how hard and we know how consistent and resilient they are. They're really raw bone guys, and you play them, you know you've been in a game, win, lose or draw. So, you know, that's where I'm at. And I'd like to sign off by thanking Mark for letting me do this video. And it's not going to be anywhere as long as the last one I did. But, you know, it's just forgive me if I pronounce some of the names wrong. You know, I apologise for that. If that's if I've got some of the names wrong. And, you know, stay safe with COVID-19. Thank you, Mark, for letting me do this video. And I hope you guys love it. Okay, cheers, goodbye.
Also, one thing I forgot to say is he wants to do another video. He likes doing the videos. But he wants to give you guys some, I guess, opportunity to pick a topic for him. He's thinking about doing videos on, somebody suggested like a Lions team, or he said like an All Blacks touring team. He's kind of already done an All Blacks team. The other one was picking a worst All Blacks team, like a team of the guys, the worst All Blacks team of all time. Or other ideas, put them in the comments and I'll feed them back to him as well. But cheers guys, and I will talk to you soon. See you later.